Jason Gorenstein. This is our Vinyasa Flow all levels class rather. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday, June the 18th, 2020, and just a few minutes past 9 o'clock. So we'll be doing a really nice Vinyasa flow today. So this is going to be a very balancing sequence, if you will. So really nice sequence, really nice flow. So without further ado, let us begin. And why don't we begin on our mats in Child's Pose. So you'll begin lying down on your mat and just begin to allow your knees to be about hips-width distance apart. Let your feet come together. Release the forehead down to the mat. And as you continue to breathe here, press down through the thumb, press down through the forefinger. Continue to allow the fingers to spread wide apart here. Lift the inner forearms up and allow the head to release on down. So as you find your way into your breath, just begin to breathe here. Begin to notice your inhalations and your exhalations. And begin to feel into your breath. Good, and as you walk the fingers just a little bit wider apart, press down through the thumb and the forefinger. Wrap the outer armpits in. Inhale. Begin to peel up the chest and find your way into tabletop pose. As you press down through the fingers here, begin to round the spine rather as you release the head on down and come into your cat pose. Good. Inhale, peeling the chest forward and up and finding your way into your cow pose. You're going to begin to rotate a few times here between your cat and your cow as you continue to move back and forth. So this is a way that we begin to become in tune with our pelvic girdle and our shoulder girdle. So as you round the spine here, the tail tucks underneath, the belly hugs in, spine rounds. And as you inhale, you peel the chest forward, lift the top of the sternum up, and look up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, rounding down and through the spine. As you inhale, peeling up and through the chest. So press down through the fingers. Begin to float the legs back towards the back of the mat, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, see that the forearms are lifting up. See that the outer arms are hugging in. And continue to feel the inner thighs floating back towards the back of the mat. So fingers are drawing forward, arms are lifting up, thigh bones are drawing back, and we're breathing here. Shift forward into plank pose, top of a push-up. Just see that the heels are drifting back. See that the fingers are pressing down, belly's engaged. As you exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog pose. And again, we shift forward into plank. So once again, we're pressing down through the fingers. Feel the outer arms hugging in. Feel the spreading across the tops of the shoulders. And as you exhale, drawing the thighs on back, finding your way back into downward facing dog pose. Good. Downward facing dog pose, walk the hands back towards the feet, coming into a forward fold here, releasing the head all the way down towards the mat. As you inhale here, peel up the chest halfway, look forward and up. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and release the spine all the way down. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana arms as you take the arms up above the head. And as you exhale, glide the hands back down into the sides, finding your way into Tadasana Pose. So we take Tadasana Pose to find our way into our feet, spread across the feet. So feel the toes spreading wide apart. Feel the weight drifting from the inner and outer arches of the feet. Allow the inner thighs to draw back. Allow the belly to hug in. And feel the sternum lengthening up towards the crown of the head here. Inhale, float the arms up and above the head. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward. Inhale, peeling up the chest, lengthening through the heart and sternum. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and above the head, Urdhva Hastasana arms. And as you exhale, glide the arms back down into the sides, coming into Tadasana Pose. Inhale, floating the arms up as you look up towards the ceiling, palms touch. As you exhale, hinging at the hips, folding all the way forward. Inhale, lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum. As you exhale, hinging and folding again. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling, your Tadasana arms. As you exhale, glide those hands back down and to the sides of the body. One more time. Inhale, float the arms up. As you exhale, forward fold. As you inhale, lengthen halfway. This time, taking the feet back and walking back into downward facing dog pose. So in downward facing dog pose, spread across the fingers. Feel the forearms lifting up. Feel the outer arms wrapping in. Continue to feel the thigh bones pressing back. Shins are drawing back towards the calves. Toes are drawing back towards the heels. So feel that lengthening through the body. Once again, looking forward towards the hands, walking the feet forward. Inhale, lengthening through the chest. As you exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, sweep the arms up and above the head, or Urdhva arms. And as you exhale, glide the hands back down and to the sides of the body. Inhale, float the arms up and above the head, Urdhva palms touch. As you exhale, hinge and forward fold. Inhale, lengthening through the chest here. Good. Walking the feet back, finding your way into plank pose this time. So plank is the top of a push-up. Spread across the fingers. See that the index fingers are parallel with the sides of the mat. Feel your forearms drawing forward. Heels are drawing back. Belly is engaged. Exhale, lower the knees down to the mat. So you bend the elbows in towards the chest. Lower the chest all the way down towards the mat. Walk the fingers back. Hug the elbows in. Inhale, peel the chest on up. And as you exhale, tuck the toes underneath. Float the thigh bones back. Downward facing dog pose. Breathing here in downward facing dog pose. Light bend in those knees. Continue to wrap the outer arms in. Good. And as you feel ready, walking the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, lengthening the chest halfway. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling, Urdhva arms. And as you exhale, glide the palms back down to the sides, releasing out through the fingers. Again, inhale, float the arms up and above your head. As you exhale, hinge and fold here. Inhale, lengthening through the chest. Take the palms down to the mat. Walk the feet back. Find your way into plank pose. Plank pose again, spreading across the fingers. Feel the inner thighs lifting up towards the ceiling. Feel the belly engaged here. Good. Exhale, lower those knees down. Lower the chest all the way down to the mat. Walk the hands back. See that the thumbs are hugging against the sides of the ribs. Inhale, peel the chest up. Collarbones spread wide apart. Let the flesh of the buttocks move towards the heels. As you tuck the toes underneath, press down through the fingers, float the thighs on back. Downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, look in between the hands. And once again, look towards the feet. Begin to float the right leg up behind you and press through the right heel. As you come high up onto the ball of the left foot, draw the right knee into the chest. Step the right foot in between the hands, release the left knee down. Inhale, float the arms up and above the head. Low lunge pose. As you exhale here, take the hands back down to the mat. Tuck the left toes underneath. Float the left leg back and begin to bend heavily into that right knee. From here, draw your right hand into the right hip crease and begin to lengthen your left side of the chest forward. Good. Now as you feel ready, exhale, lower that right hand back down to the mat. Inhale, take both arms back behind us and begin to float the fingers so that the palms face one another. Lift the chest up slightly and press the left heel back to the back of the mat. As you feel ready, inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling for Anjali pose. As you exhale, release the hands down to the mat. Glide your right leg back, shift forward into plank. You can lower the knees down, lower the chest all the way down. Good. Walk the hands back, hands hug against the side ribs, elbows draw in. Press down through the tops of the fingers. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, tucking the toes underneath. Floating those thighs on back, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, we float the left leg up. Come high up onto the right ball of the foot. Hug the left knee into the chest. Step the left foot forward, release the right knee down. Inhale, float the arms up and above your head. Anjali or Crescent Pose. Take your hands down to the mat. Press to the right ball of the foot. Float the right leg up. As you bend deeply into the left knee, place the left hand into the left hip crease. Bend that left knee deeply and begin to lift the chest up.
Now take the arms back behind you as you lengthen the chest. Press the palms towards one another so the arms are in external rotation here, and begin to lengthen through that right heel. Inhale, float the arms up and above the head for Crescent Pose. Anjali-asana. Exhale, float the hands down to the mat. Step the left leg back, shift forward, plank pose. Lower those knees down, lower the chest all the way down. Again, inhale, walk the hands back, float the chest on up. This time, tuck the toes underneath. Press the palms down to straighten the arms. Lift through the chest. Maybe float the legs up off the floor. As you exhale, pressing those thighs on back, downward facing dog pose. Spread across the fingers here. Feel the inner arms engaged. Feel the outer arms wrapping on in. Keep lengthening through the backs of the hamstrings here as you lift through the top of your chest. Good. Walk the feet forward towards the hands. Inhale, peel up the chest halfway. Exhale, forward fold and release. Inhale, floating those arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, glide the hands down to the sides. Again, inhale, float those arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthen here. Take the palms down to the mat. Walk the feet back. Find your way into plank. So we've done a few rounds here where we've lowered the knees down. If you'd like and you're ready, you can lower and bend the elbows halfway down. Pause here. Inhale, begin to press the palms forward to peel up the chest for upward facing dog. Exhale, floating those thighs on back for downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, look in between the hands again. If you'd like, float the right leg up as you look on back. Right knee draws to the chest. Step the right foot in between the hands. As you spin the left heel down, firm the right buttocks in. Inhale, float the arms up and out to the sides for Warrior Two Pose. Warrior Two Pose, begin to turn the right palm up towards the ceiling. Float the right arm up towards the ceiling as you breathe in here. As you straighten through that right leg, hinge at that right hip and place your right hand down on the right shin. Inhale, float the left arm up towards the ceiling. Press through the left outer ball of the foot. Continue to wrap the right outer tricep in. Good. So the right arm is moving into that external rotation, just like in Tadasana. See that the right side of the chest lengthens on forward. As you inhale, glide the left arm up, bend deeply into that right knee, and reverse the warrior one more time. As you exhale here, place both hands down on the mat. Step your right leg to meet the left leg at the back of the mat. Shift forward into plank. You can move through vinyasa. You can lower down onto the knees if you'd like, or you can lower down through Chaturanga. Inhale, peeling the chest up. Exhale, pressing on back for downward facing dog pose. So continue to feel the backs of the knees lifting up here as you press those thigh bones on back. That's it. And then drifting the left leg up towards the back of the room. Hug the left knee to the chest. Step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. Firm the left buttocks in and inhale, float the arms up and out to the sides. Warrior Two Pose. Warrior Two Pose. Begin to lift the left fingers up towards the ceiling as you reverse the warrior. Straighten through the left leg, hinge at that hip, and glide the right arm up towards the ceiling. Press through the right big toe mound of the foot. Press through the left big toe mound of the foot. Press through the left pinky toe side of the foot as you draw the right thigh back. Press through the left big toe side of the foot as you drive the left hip in. Lengthen the left side of the chest forward. Extend your arms and draw the tops of your collarbones wide apart. Inhale, float that right arm up and deeply into that left knee. Reverse the warrior here as you raise the left fingers to the ceiling. As you exhale, glide the fingers down to the mat. Step your left leg back. Shift forward into plank. Lower down halfway. Pause. Inhale, peel up the chest here for Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. Exhale, pressing on back for Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog. And in downward facing dog, just begin to allow the knees to bend very heavily here. Keep pressing those thigh bones back so the back body begins to grow longer here. The fingers are lengthening towards the front of the mat. Good. And then begin to slowly straighten into those legs. Nice. Once again, inhale, float that right leg up. Right knee comes to the chest, shoulders of a wrist. Step the right foot in between the hands. Spin the left heel down once again. Inhale, Warrior Two Pose. Warrior Two Pose, beginning to see that your left outer foot is pressing back. Glide the left arm back. See that your right knee is bending. Glide the right arm forward. Once again, spin the right palm up. Reverse the warrior. Take your right forearm, place it on the right thigh, and inhale, take your left arm up towards the ceiling. Bend deeper into that right knee. See that that right calf is parallel with the front of the room. See that the right thigh is parallel with the floor. And then begin to spin the left arm, external rotation, as you lengthen that arm up and over the head. Glide the fingers up. Begin to rotate the right side of the chest towards the ceiling here. Inhale, float that left arm up. Once again, come back into warrior two. Straighten through that right leg one more time. Hinge at that right hip and glide your right arm down as you lengthen through that left arm. Finding your way back into Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Good. As you come here, place the left hand on the left hip crease. Look down at the mat. Bend the right knee and glide the right fingers outside of the foot. Step the left foot in and then glide the fingers forward, about 8 to 12 inches forward of the foot. As you shift the weight forward to that hand, keep looking down and begin to lift through the left inner thigh crease. Spin the left outer hip down towards the mat. Begin to rotate the right side of the chest up towards the ceiling as you glide the right outer buttocks underneath the body. Inhale, float that left arm up towards the ceiling. So the left toes are facing the center of the room. The right side of the chest is lengthening here. As you exhale, bending deeply into that right knee, lowering that left leg down. Once again, Utthita Trikonasana. Inhale, floating that arm up and rebending into that right knee. Glide the right fingers up towards the ceiling here. As you exhale, one more time, right hand comes down inside of the right leg. Lift the left arm up. So if you need a block here, place a block underneath your right palm. Bend deeply into that right knee. Hug the right buttocks in. Press to the left ball of the foot. Continue to press the left thigh back. Take the left palm. Glide the left fingers down to the floor. Glide the left fingers forward and up and over the head. Begin to spin the chest forward as you look up towards that pinky finger. And then as you feel ready, inhale, gliding that arm on back. Inhale, floating that arm up as you come back into warrior two. Spin the right fingers up towards the ceiling here as you bend deeply into that right knee. And as you exhale, release the hands down to the mat. Step your right leg back to the back of the mat and find your way into downward facing dog. We shift forward into plank together. Okay, lower down halfway. Pause here. Inhale, peel up the chest as you press down through the fingers. Draw the sternum through the collarbones. And as you exhale, float those thigh bones back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose. Look forward in between the hands again. So press to those fingers. Spread the fingers wide apart. Release the head on down. Inhale, float that left leg on up. Left knee draws to the chest, shoulders over wrists. Step the left foot in between the hands. From here, spin the right heel down. Walk the left toes to the center of the mat. Press down to the right pinky toe side of the foot as you firm the left buttocks in. Inhale, float the arms up and out to the sides. So see that that left knee bends, the left calf moving to the left shin, left thighs to the left hamstring. Sink deeper into that left thigh. That's it. Draw the right arm back. Float the left arm up. Inhale, reverse the warrior. As you exhale, glide your left forearm onto the left thigh. Inhale, float the right arm up. Keep drawing the left buttocks underneath as you spin the right arm down towards the mat. Press back into the right pinky toe side of the foot. Firm the right thigh in. Inhale, float the right fingers up. Spin the right upper arm down towards the floor as you lengthen through the left side of the chest. Begin to rotate the chest up towards the ceiling as you draw that left hip back. Keep breathing here for another 5 breaths. Inhale, float that arm up. Raise the right arm up towards the ceiling. Straighten through that left leg. Hinge at that left hip and find your way into Utthita Trikonasana. Press through the right pinky toe side of the foot. See that that right thigh is floating back. See that that left buttocks is hugging in. Draw the shoulder blades back and away from the center chest. Float the arms in even opposite directions. Right hand comes to the right hip crease. Look down at that left foot. Then the left knee, place the left hand on the ground. Step your right foot in about halfway and bring your left hand forward about 8 to 12 inches diagonal of the foot. As you press down through those fingers, inhale, begin to float that right leg on up. As you float the right leg on up, spin the right thigh on down. Inhale, float the right arm up. Good. As you lengthen through the left side of the chest, draw the left outer hip back. Breathe here as you lift through that right arm, right chest, right shoulder. As you exhale here, bend through that left knee. Softly release that leg on down and begin to place your left hand onto your left shin. Right arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale, floating that arm up, bending deeply into that left knee. Reverse the warrior here. As you exhale, glide the hands down to the mat. Stepping your left leg back to meet the right, shifting forward into plank pose, lowering the chest down halfway, pause. Inhale, peeling up the chest. Exhale, pressing back for downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, bring the feet together at the back of the mat. And you can lower the knees down and just come back into tabletop pose. Firm the outer thighs in. Press down through the fingers, spread across the collarbones. That's it. From here, we begin to float that right leg back to the back of the mat and begin to lengthen through the chest. Hug the belly in here. Keep lengthening through that right leg. As you exhale, begin to extend the left arm forward. So spin the left pinky toe side of the fingers down to the mat. Firm the belly in. Breathe here. As you exhale, lower the left hand down, lower the right knee down. Inhale, taking the left leg back, extending through that left leg. Spin the left outer thigh down. Firm the belly in. Extend through the right fingers this time. As you lengthen through those right fingers, continue to draw the navel in towards the back of the spine. Continue to spread the fingers wide apart here and lengthen through the chest. Hug your belly in. As you exhale, releasing both hand and knee down to the mat and pressing your way back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Adho Mukha Shavasana, this time stepping your right leg forward in between your hands, spinning the left heel out. See that your right foot is right along the edge of the right hand. See that your left heel is turned out to the side. Feel your heel, right heel, lining up to the right hip. Feel your left heel lining up to the left heel, hip, or towards the right heel. Both are fine. And then from here, as you press the right thigh on forward, begin to take the hands back behind you. Good. Bend deeply into that right knee. See that the chest is hovering up off of that right thigh. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. We come into our first warrior pose, warrior one. As you bend deeply into that right knee, begin to rotate the left hip forward. Press into the right heel as you drive the right hip back. Good. Then taking the hands forward down to the mat, gliding onto the left ball of the foot, stepping your right leg back and coming back into plank pose. So you can do vinyasa or you can move straight into downward facing dog pose. Your choice. And eventually finding your way into downward facing dog pose. From downward facing dog pose, here we step the left foot in between the hands. We spin that right heel down. See that the left knee is bending. See that the left calf moves to the left shin. Press to the right pinky toe side of the foot. Firm the left buttocks in. Take the arms back behind us to start. Keep lengthening through the chest. So you're pressing into that right outer foot. Right thigh is drawing back. Keep drawing the right side of the chest forward. Inhale. Float the arms up towards the ceiling as you move into warrior one pose. As you exhale here, glide the hands down to the mat. Step that left leg back. Shift forward into plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog pose. Spread across the fingers here. Release the head down to the mat. Allow the inner arms to lift on up. As you feel ready, walk the feet forward towards the hands. As you inhale here, peel up the chest halfway, and as you exhale, forward fold. Bend those knees deeply. See that the thighs begin to move parallel down to the mat. Feel that the belly is drawing long. Feel that the collarbones are drawing away from the ears. That's it. And inhale, take the arms forward to the chest. Float the fingers up. Hug the belly in. Lengthen through the chest, heart, and sternum. Straighten through those legs. And release the arms down and out to the sides. Finding your way into Tadasana. Tadasana is our standing mountain pose. So just give me a moment here while I reorient. Okay, that's better. So once again, we're going to come back to our mat and we're going to come back to Utkatasana. Inhale, float those arms up, bend the knees, Utkatasana. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthen through the chest here. Step both feet back, find your way back into plank pose. So shift forward, Chaturanga Dandasana, shoulders over wrists, bend those elbows. Inhale, peel up the chest here. As you exhale, float those thighs back, downward facing dog. Step the right foot in between the hands. Spin the left heel down. Firm that right buttocks and inhale, float the arms up. Warrior One pose. So Warrior One pose here. Exhale, lower those hands down to the mat. Glide your right leg back. Shift forward plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog. And again, we look forward in between the hands. We step the left foot in between the hands. Spin that right heel down. Press to the right outer foot. Begin to bring the left calf towards the left shin. Inhale, float those arms up. So see that the feet are heavy. Press through the outer sides of the feet. Bend deeply into that left knee. As you exhale here, glide the hands down to the mat. Step the left leg back. Shift forward, plank pose, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, walk the toes forward towards the hands. Inhale, peeling up the chest halfway. Exhale, forward folding. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, float the arms up. Utkatasana, chair pose. As you straighten through the legs, bring the hands into the center chest. Inhale, floating those arms up towards the ceiling. As you bend the knees, Utkatasana. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening through the chest here. Walk the feet back. Find your way back into plank pose. Plank pose moving through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Shavasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana. This time, let's take the left leg forward first. Spin the right heel down. Press through the right outer ball of the foot. Drive the right thigh back. Keep bending into that left knee as you pin the left buttocks in. Inhale, float the arms up as you move into Warrior One. Keep bending into that left knee. As you exhale here, glide the hands down to the mat. Step the left leg back, shift forward, plank pose, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Step the right foot in between the hands, spin the left heel down. Firm the outer thighs in, engage the belly, lengthen the fingers up towards the ceiling. Breathe here as you move into Urdhva Hastasana arms. As you exhale, glide those hands down to the mat. Step your right leg back. Shift forward, plank pose. Chaturanga, Urdhva Mukha, Adho Mukha. And once again here, look in between the hands. Begin to have a deep bend in those knees. If you'd like, you can try to walk, step, or hop the feet forward towards the hands. And inhale, lengthen the chest up halfway. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bring the hands back into the center chest. Once again, at your own pace, moving through one more vinyasa. And eventually, when you finish up this vinyasa, you'll end up in your downward facing dog pose. If at any point you forget the moves, you can please feel free to look up at the front of the room to the computer screen and see how to move through the flow. So please feel free if you need to take a view of your computer just so that you remember how to flow. So remembering that every time you exhale, that's a movement where you're moving into a fold. Every time you inhale is a movement where you're lifting up. That's the difference between knowing the flow of the poses. Exhaling on your down breaths, inhaling on your up breaths. And eventually you'll find your way back into downward facing dog. So once you found your way into downward facing dog pose, you're going to, you can remain here or you could come into child's pose. So it's your call. But you do want to see that you're pressing in through those fingers. You want to see that the thighs are drawing back and the belly's engaged here. Good. One more time, we're going to step the right foot forward in between the hands. Spin that left heel down. Inhale, float the arms up for Warrior One pose. Straighten through the right leg. Hands come to the hips and step your left foot forward slightly. Now draw the left outer hip forward. Draw the right outer hip back. Take the fingers behind the back, and you can either bring the palms to touch, the knuckles to touch or the hands on the hips. Place the hands up the back if you've chose Prasarva Namaskarasana, Prasarva Namaskar. And as you press to the pinky toe side of the left foot, drive the left side of the chest forward. Bend into that right knee and begin to draw the right outer hip back. So see that the left chest draws forward. See that the right thigh draws back, and breathe here. So you're trying not to round the spine here. The shoulder blades are actually drawing in towards the chest, and the collarbones are spreading wide apart here. As you inhale, peel up the chest. Good. Take the hands back to the hips. Walk the right toes forward again. Okay, bend deeply into that right knee. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, spin onto the ball of the left foot. Take the hands behind the back. Yes, take the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers here. First, start by putting a light bend in that left knee. Then draw the elbows towards one another. As you do so, hug the belly in. Really important action here. Now press the palms down to straighten the arms and begin to lean the chest forward. The hands drive up towards the ceiling here, and you're floating the chest off of the top of that right thigh. And breathe here. This is called Humble Warrior's Pose, or Baddha Virabhadrasana. It's really Baddha Anjalyasana because we're in the lunge variation of the legs. As you inhale here, float the arms up, float the chest up. So breathe in here. Good, and as you exhale, take the hands back down to the mat. Now bend deeply into that right knee. Walk the left foot forward, and then float the left leg up as you begin to walk the hands forward to right underneath the shoulders here. Keep trying to add a lift to that left leg. Now take your right hand, place your right hand on your right hip crease. You can stay here. You want to keep lifting up through that left hip. So that left leg wants to keep lifting up. And then turn towards the right side of the room. Press to the right ball of the foot. So once again, keep lifting the left leg. That's it, left inner thigh. Inhale, float the right arm up towards the ceiling. Spread across the collarbones here. Feel the belly is engaged. Lengthen through the sternum as you draw the shoulders back towards the waist. Allow that left heel to lift up. As you exhale here, release the right hand down towards the mat. Release the left heel down towards the floor. Inhale, lengthening halfway here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling, Utkatasana chair pose. As you exhale, hands come to the center chest. Twist the body over towards the right side of the room and breathe here. So just a simple twist over the right. If you are familiar with your side crow pose, you could bend both knees here. You could stack both knees on top of your right tricep. You could bring the hands into Chaturanga Dandasana. So first start with the palms underneath the shoulders. Then you begin to lean the shoulders forward of the wrists. Remember, we've been doing that all day. That's the action. Elbows hug in, shoulders over wrists. Now you begin to just lift those legs up. So you're just stacking here and using your core muscles to lift the chest up. Come back to your sides again. Inhale, float those arms up. Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening halfway. As you feel ready, walk the feet back. Moving forward through plank. If you'd like Chaturanga, inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So downward facing dog pose, we step the left foot in between the hands. We spin the right heel down. Press to the right pinky toe side of the foot. Inhale, float the arms up for Warrior One pose. From Warrior One pose, we spin onto the right ball of the foot. Take the hands, place the hands on the hips, straighten through that left leg. Step the right foot up slightly. So be here for a moment. Just take a moment to set up the pose. As you press through the pinky toe side of your right foot, draw your right hip forward. As you press through the left big toe side of the foot, drive the left hip back. Hands can either be in reverse namaskar, hands can be in touching the knuckles, or the hands can be on the hips. Press to the right heel, lengthen your chest down forward, and breathe here. Chest comes parallel to the mat. Press to that right heel. Drive the right side of the chest to the left foot. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen through the sternum. And as you inhale here, float the chest on back up. Good. So You may need to step the right leg back a step and interlace the hands behind the back. Pull the fingers back and down the mat. Bend that left knee 90 degrees and begin to take the arms up and over the head as you bring the chest parallel to the floor. Keep drawing the right side of the chest parallel to the floor. Keep breathing as you lengthen through the side ribs. Good. As you inhale, peel up the chest once again. Float the arms up and above the head. As you exhale here, glide the hands down to the mat and step your right leg forward. So once you step that right leg forward, you're going to lift through that right inner leg. So you could even take your hands to your hips and place your hands on your sacrum, which is at the very base of the pelvis, and you can lift the legs so that your hand is flat along your back. Then from here, you'll take your left hand to the left hip. Keep lifting through the chest. Maybe begin to float the left arm up. As you float the left arm up, instead of twisting your thighs, see if you can lift that left arm even higher. So you're twisting through the thoracic chest here. And as you exhale, lower that left hand on down. Release the head down here. Step the right leg forward in between the hands and release both sides of the waist, or both sides of the chest down to the mat. Bend the knees. Inhale, peel up the chest, heart, and sternum here. And now, I'll just step to the front of the mat so you guys can see. You're going to take the hands to the center chest and place the left tricep over that crease. If you are aware, what you can do is you can place your hands down on the mat. So if you're familiar with side crow, you can take your hands to parallel, hug the elbows in, begin to lean the chest on forward. Drive forward as you take Chaturanga arms here, lengthen the chest, and exhale, come back to center. Inhale, find your way back into Utkatasana chair pose, and then straighten through the legs here as you take the arms down and out to the sides. Take the feet to parallel, lean forward, grab hold of the big toe mounds of the feet. Release the head on down. The elbows draw out to the sides. The head releases down towards the mat. And breathe here. This is our Padangusthasana variation pose. From Padangusthasana, you're going to take your left hand to your hip. You're going to draw your right knee to a bend, and you're going to lift the right leg on up, just like this. As you lift the right leg up, continue to press down through the left ball of the foot. Left buttocks is lengthening here. Right buttocks is also lengthening down towards the floor. Now, if you'd like, you can extend your right leg forward of your chest. Draw the right shoulder back. Breathe here. Good. And then exhale, bring that knee to a bend again. Now take the right leg out. Spin the right leg out about 45 degrees. Inhale, begin to kick out that leg. Press the thigh down. Firm the belly in. Breathe here as you lift the top of the chest. Exhale, drawing that leg back to center. Release that palm on down. Good. Ardha half Sun Salutation. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening through the chest. Exhale, folding. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, arms come to the sides. One more time. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. So you grab hold of the big toe mounds of the feet again. And you begin to allow the weight to shift from the heels to the toes. The head releases down towards the mat. The elbows draw away from one another. And then from here, you take your left hand to the, or right hand rather, to the right hip. You bend then to that right knee slightly, and then you draw the left knee up. Left knee lifts on up. Now take the left knee towards the center of the room. Press the right buttocks flush down. Begin to draw that left thigh forward. Begin to draw that left thigh forward, and the left shoulder draws on back. That's it. Then bringing that left knee to a bend position. Turn the left heel out, turn the left heel out, turn the left heel out. Inhale, extend the left leg out to the side. So here you're drawing the left shoulder into the socket. You're pressing down through the right ball of the foot, and you're allowing the left outer thigh to roll in and underneath. Bend that knee again, bring the leg back to center. Exhale, lower that leg on down. Find your way back into Tadasana Pose. Okay, inhale, float those arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, and release Utkatasana. Forward folds here. Inhale, lengthen halfway. So now we're just going to move into crow pose. So
crow pose. We've already done side crow. In many respects, side crow is easier sometimes than crow. I don't know. I mean, it's debatable. That you teach crow first usually, but I sometimes think that the side crow is a little bit easier just because we're using one arm instead of both. But, I mean, it could both be, learning it could be, we could learn both of them. So as you feel ready, you're going to walk your elbows down to the floor and walk your fingers in. Spread the fingers wide apart here. So press down through the thumbs, press down through the forefingers. Begin to inhale, lift those hips high up. Now walk the hands back. The hips are really high up now, and you're just going to lean the weight forward. Keep lifting the chest. As you draw the left knee in, draw the left foot up. As you draw the right knee in, draw the right foot up. Hug the belly in, and see if you can breathe here. So you're lifting through the chest, heart, and sternum, and exhale, lower on down. So we'll do it one more time. From here, you can watch if you want. So you'll do it one more time. Lift up, lift up, lift up. All right? So you can lift up those legs, lift up those legs, lift up those legs. And then eventually, I'm going to lower my feet down. I haven't done the transition in a moment. But if you want, you can take your head down towards the mat. And you want to see that your head is, let me tuck my shirt before I do this. So you can take your head down towards the mat, and you want to see that your head makes a triangle with your two arms. So the elbows hug in, the top of the head is down on the mat, and you lift through the shoulders. You lift the legs up, press down through the top of the head, float the left leg up, float the right leg up, and then begin to lift those legs up as you move into variation of 3-point headstand. So keep lifting through those legs, keep drawing those inner thighs back, keep hugging the belly in, lift the shoulders up, keep lifting through those heels. So it's many of the actions that we take in Tadasana, spread across the toes, thigh bones back, belly in, buttocks in, shoulder blades lift. It's all Tadasana actions. You can bend the knees now. You can see if you can take your arms back onto your legs. Not the easiest of variations. Lift the chest up and come back. There we go. All right. Just a little bit of fun for our day. All right, so from here, we're going to come onto our back. And you could start by just taking your hands behind the backs of your legs. Inhale, float the right leg up. Exhale, lower that right foot down. Inhale, float the left leg up. Exhale, float the left leg down. Inhale, float the right leg up. Exhale, float the right leg down. Inhale, float the left leg up. Exhale, float the right leg down. Take the arms forward to the chest. Inhale, float both legs up. Ardha. So extend, extend, extend. And then come back to center. Good, and then come into Ardha. And then come back to center. And then come into Ardha. And come back to center. Come back to Ardha. Good, and come back to center. So from here, we're going to cross the legs. And we're just going to see if we can kind of lift through our arms. So you're going to cross the feet here. Maybe you have a block to either side of your body. It's kind of nice here to do this with a block. It's not necessary, but it's a little bit easier. As you press down through the block, you're going to press down through your fingers. You're going to lift the pelvis off the mat, cross the legs here, lift the legs up, and extend. And then release the buttocks down. All right? We're going to do... So now, from here, that's just a little trick of a pose. As you feel ready, lying onto your back, hugging the knees into the chest, lift those legs up towards the ceiling. Lift those arms up, reach the arms up, reach the legs up. Hands come over to the right, lower the left leg down. Hands come back to center, lift the left leg up. Hands come over to the left, lower the right leg down. Hands come back to center. Lift the right leg up. Oh. Hands come over to the right. Lower the left leg down. Hands come back to center. Lift that leg back up. Hands come over to the left. Lower the right leg down. Hands come back to center. Lift that leg up. So 3 more times. And as you breathe here, continue to feel the shoulders lifting off of the mat. That's very important here. Shoulders are lifted, belly's engaged. Nice work, guys. 1 more. And good. Back to center. Hug those knees into the chest. Release those feet down onto the mat. Grab hold of the outer sides of the mat. Roll your shoulders under. Press down through the toes. Lift the pelvis up. So see that the calves move towards the shins. See that the thighs move towards the hamstrings. Roll the shoulders underneath and breathe here. Take the fingers. Bring the fingers onto the mat. Wrap the outer arms in and breathe. So as you continue to breathe, see that the outer thighs revolve towards the inner thighs. See that the buttocks lengthens towards the heels. See that the belly is engaged here. Good, and as you exhale, release the pelvis all the way down to the mat. And then once again, as you continue to breathe here, begin to press down to the feet. Lift up your pelvis, interlace your fingers here, and once again. So press down to the feet, begin to peel up the chest, begin to peel up the heart, peel up the sternum, press down through the tops of the fingers. If you'd like here, you could take Urdhva. You could take the hands behind the back, see that the elbows hug in, see that the legs remain in our bridge pose, and then press down through the top of the head. So now you're on the crown of the head again. This is the opposite. It's very actually similar to the pose that we took, our headstand. And then you press on up, it's like a reverse headstand. And then lift the chest. Good, come back down, lift the chest up, roll onto the shoulders, release the head on down, and breathe here. Arms come out to the sides. You can wiggle the head over to the right and to the left. We're going to do it 1 more time. So you can start out in bridge. So by pressing through the feet, pelvis up, thighs in, interlace the fingers here, left and right shoulders under. Stop it. So Daisy, stop. So from here, sorry about that. From here, as you feel ready, begin to take the hands behind the head, and then press down through the hands, lift the chest up, and press your way on up. And breathe here. And then as you feel ready, lower on down. And release. So as you feel ready now, you're going to take the left leg, you're going to cross it over the top of the right thigh, and you're going to close the eyes. So this is called thread the needle pose. So you release the head on down. And then from here, you're going to take the other side of the pose. Stop it. So now you're going to take your right leg over the left, and then you're going to draw the leg in and breathe here. Continue to breathe. All right, I am sorry about this. So as you continue to breathe here, just release the legs all the way down. See that the knees are together. See that the feet are apart. And just release. And then you'll roll the knees over to your side. And you'll press your way on out. So find your way back into a seated position. You can come into a cross-legged position. Take your hands into the center chest as you exhale, release the chin towards the chest. So thank you guys so much. I hope that you guys enjoyed the practice. My apologies for the bark towards the very end of the class. There's another dog walking outside. So I hope that you guys have a phenomenal day. I hope that you're well. I hope you're happy. Look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Namaste, yogis. So thank you guys so much. If you guys like, please feel free to stick around for another moment or so. So once again, my name is Jason Gorenstein. The class that you just participated in is Vinyasa Flow All Levels Practice. Our next class is going to be tomorrow, Friday the 19th, 2020, 9 a.m. So hopefully you can join us then. If you enjoyed the class, thumbs up, heart sign, share the video, comment. And also I have a Venmo QR, so if you feel like sending any Venmo, very grateful for that. I hope that you guys have a phenomenal, phenomenal day. Be well, be happy, my friends. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. Thanks, guys.